Pursuit of the Truth Episode 10. In the previous episode, Su Ming came face to face with a power far beyond anything he had imagined. The wind stream Berserker Lord descended from the altar. A man so overwhelming that even the wind and clouds seemed to halt in his presence. With just a glance, he made Su Ming's blood churn uncontrollably and forced the warriors of Dark Mountain Tribe to bow in fear and awe. Soon after, a colossal black dragon arrived, carrying the elite of the Dark Dragon Tribe, including Bei Ling, whose brief smile lit up Su Ming's heart amid the tension. As alliances, old rivalries, and hidden emotions stirred beneath the surface, Su Ming followed the others into Windstream City, still haunted by the power he had witnessed and the path he longed to walk. At the end of the previous episode, just as he was about to settle into the city, a cold voice echoed behind him. The old woman of the Dark Dragon Tribe fixed her icy gaze on him and asked, "So, you are Su Ming? What will happen next? Stay tuned." And the story continues. Su Ming was feeling nervous. He was filled with anxiety not just because the person talking to him was the elder of Dark Dragon Tribe but also because she was Bei Ling's grandmother. He took a deep breath, steadying himself as he prepared to greet her. "I am Su Ming. Greetings, elder of Dark Dragon Tribe," he said respectfully, bowing with sincerity. The old woman's face was dark, her eyes piercing as they studied him. The silence that followed was heavy. Everyone around, from the guides of Windstream Tribe to Xianxia, who had been preoccupied with other matters, turned to watch Su Ming closely, the tension almost tangible in the air. Su Ming's heart raced. He was only a normal child, with no visible spiritual energy or qi, yet the scrutiny of the elder of Dark Dragon Tribe was suffocating. Xianxia, who had been searching for clues about a fallen berserker who had created a mysterious medicine, found himself distracted, his mind troubled by the encounter. Lei Chen stood beside Su Ming, his usual calm replaced with barely restrained anger. He could not fathom how this old woman, a member of another tribe, could look at Su Ming with such disdain. Even Bei Ling frowned, confused and displeased, unsure how Su Ming could have offended Dark Dragon Tribe in any way. The elder's voice finally broke the silence. "So many years have passed. You've grown up," she said slowly, her tone neither warm nor angry. Su Ming felt a cold sweat break out across his body. He stood rigid, unsure of what to say, painfully aware of the gaze of everyone around him. Bei Ling, standing behind her grandmother, looked pale and clutched the corner of her shirt tightly. Anxiety etched across her face. Sikong, by her side, glared mockingly at Su Ming, his eyes burning with hatred and disdain. The elder continued, her words cutting deep. "It's a pity. The elder only brought you up but he did not teach you how to be civilized. You should at least think about your status." Su Ming's face turned pale. She had exposed a weakness he had hidden deep within his heart. A vulnerability that left him reeling. He bit his lip, silent, absorbing the humiliation in a crowd of dozens. Bei Ling's heart ached, and she spoke up angrily. "Elder." Lei Chen, driven by rage, took a step forward, ready to defend Su Ming, ignoring the elder's rank. Yet before he could act, a strange light glimmered in the old woman's eyes. Lei Chen's body convulsed violently, forcing him to step back, pale and shocked. The head of the guards, observing the unfolding scene, frowned, stepping forward to intervene. A sharp, commanding presence emanated from him, surrounding the area like a protective barrier, and Lei Chen recoiled even further. The elder's companions, including Shan Hen, the stoic chief of the hunters, presented their own pressures, a tense standoff forming between the generations and the tribes. Xianxia observed quietly, a knowing smirk on his face, understanding the complex dynamics that had unfolded over decades. Su Ming remained still, silent, as Lei Chen's anger simmered beside him. Then, with quiet resolve, Su Ming raised his hand and gently gripped Lei Chen's arm, halting him. With his pale, frail appearance and youthful face, Su Ming looked like a boy not yet touched by the harsh realities of life. His eyes, clear and untarnished, betrayed a depth of understanding beyond his years. Slowly, he released Lei Chen and stepped forward. ignoring the gazes of all present, moving 10 feet closer to the old woman. He looked her directly in the eyes. "I don't have any sense of propriety. I don't have parents. In your eyes, I have neither any right nor status. But, my elder once told me that you only see one part of the rain in the world. You will never know how much rain there is when it stops." His voice was soft but carried weight, steady and unwavering. "You can only see the surface of the muddy water on the ground and never the bottom. This year, I am only 16 years old." With that, he turned and walked away slowly, leaving the old woman staring after him, her expression unreadable. Lei Chen followed closely, still burning with quiet anger, while the head of the guards and Shan Hen relaxed slightly, the tension ebbing as the old woman finally ceased speaking. Bei Ling left silently with her grandmother, conflicted and silent, watching Su Ming's retreating figure with a troubled heart. Later, the members of Dark Mountain Tribe were allocated lodgings in the south of the massive mudstone city. A cluster of 9 connected houses, fenced off to feel isolated. Inside, all members gathered as the head of the guards began speaking. He explained the vastness and superiority of Windstream Tribe compared to Dark Mountain Tribe, the sheer number of berserkers, their resources, the speed of their training, and the presence of statues dedicated to the god of berserkers. He emphasized that the small tribe could not hope to match such a medium-sized tribe in sheer power. But this experience was a chance for growth. He encouraged the members to make connections with other tribes, to experience the might of Windstream Tribe, and to learn from outstanding peers. They were to find their own goals and measure themselves against stronger adversaries. But fights were forbidden within Windstream Tribe. This was an opportunity to grow and set their own path forward. Bei Ling, familiar with Windstream Tribe, was asked to introduce them to the 7 strong berserkers of their age group. Beginning with the top one, Yi Wang. As Su Ming listened quietly, he felt the sting of the elder's earlier words, which continued to echo in his mind, pushing him toward silent determination. He clenched his fists, resolved to prove his worth in this new and challenging environment. Just as he was gathering his thoughts, a voice broke through. "Su Ming," Shan Hen asked quietly, wondering why the elder had treated him so. Su Ming shook his head, brushing it off calmly, his mind focused on the challenges ahead. A guide from Windstream Tribe soon arrived. Summoning Su Ming, he rose, bowed briefly to the head of the guards, and followed the guide. Preparing for what lay ahead, Bei Ling's voice called after him, reminding him of the formidable test in Windstream Tribe, a trial where nearly 100 competitors vied for the top 50 ranks. A stage traditionally dominated by Windstream Tribe members. As long as I can get into one of the places in the top 50. Even if I'm in the last few ranks, it'll still be a huge accomplishment for Dark Mountain Tribe. Su Ming walked quietly within the walls of the mudstone city belonging to Windstream Tribe. In front of him, the tribe member who was serving as his guide walked with an arrogant air that Su Ming could clearly see. As they moved through the city, Su Ming's eyes roamed over the mudstone buildings, vast and imposing compared to the wooden and hide structures of his own tribe. The scale and organization of Windstream Tribe were unlike anything he had ever witnessed in his 16 years. Everywhere he looked, there were berserkers, men and women with powerful presence of energy that seemed to radiate from their very beings. Some wore garments traditionally reserved for elders in his tribe, a visible mark of their strength and rank. Su Ming could feel the difference immediately. The aura of this middle-sized tribe was overwhelming. The streets were bustling with activity. Merchants moved in and out of trade houses, their actions sharp and precise. The land beneath his feet was different too, pressed flat and hardened with some unknown technique. Each step he took felt unfamiliar compared to the soft dirt of his home. Su Ming's attention was drawn to massive black bows hanging from the city walls. Hundreds of feet long, they exuded a dark, vengeful aura, sending chills down his spine, a clear reminder of the tribe's power. A voice pierced through his thoughts, pulling him back to reality. "Are you done looking?" the guide from Windstream Tribe asked, his smile mocking. Su Ming noticed the arrogance in the way he spoke, meant not just to address Su Ming but to make all outsiders feel their inferiority. The guide instructed him to explore the city at night. suggesting the scenery would far surpass anything Su Ming had seen before. Then, without waiting for a response, he turned and walked quickly, motioning for Su Ming to follow. Su Ming followed silently, careful to match the guide's pace. Their destination was the pentagonal altar at the city center, where 3 secret rooms were tucked away. Inside one room, the elder of Wind Stream Tribe, a man in purple who had reached the Transcendence realm, sat cross-legged. Across from him was Mo Sang, the elder of Dark Mountain Tribe, calm and composed as ever. Between them lay a chessboard, its pieces carved from animal bones, rough and unpolished, while the board itself was a massive stone slab with precisely carved squares. Each held a small stone cup in their hands, the rising steam carrying a gentle fragrance throughout the room. The man in purple picked up a piece and moved it across the board with precision. Mo Sang, when you came back, you gave me this chessboard and the pieces. You even taught me how to play chess. I suppose it was to stave off loneliness and boredom, he said with a soft smile, his tone tinged with nostalgia. The chessboard, he explained, came from the Taya tribe, created in the image of an artifact from a distant land. He lamented that he hadn't played in years and admitted he could no longer win against Mo Sang. Despite the simplicity of the moment, the conversation carried the weight of decades of history between them. The man in purple, Jing Nan, spoke with admiration for Mo Sang, lamenting that his prodigious talent had been constrained by circumstances, suggesting that if Mo Sang had accepted the elder's promise and joined Windstream Tribe, he might have reached the Transcendence realm much earlier. The idea of bone sacrifice, the mystical ritual that transformed the 13th vertebra into a true berserker bone, filled Jing Nan with longing and regret. Mo Sang remained quiet, bitterness and nostalgia etched on his features. Jing Nan continued, recounting how the elder could have used Wind Stream Tribe's resources to aid Mo Sang in reaching the bone sacrifice realm. Had he agreed to marry Wen Yan and join the tribe, their shared past was laden with lost opportunities. Yet Jing Nan seemed resigned. He acknowledged that some things were beyond alteration, and that his visit this time was partially because of the child standing nearby, Su Ming, the one Mo Sang had brought back years ago. Mo Sang confirmed this, raising the stone cup to sip the warm liquid, letting the aroma fill him with a moment of comfort. They spoke briefly about the blood-red moon and the activities of Black Mountain Tribe, with Jing Nan noting that Bai Tu must have found another way to influence events. Despite the potential danger, Mo Sang refused any request to intervene, valuing the potential aid Su Ming might provide if he reached the Transcendence realm. The conversation shifted as Jing Nan proposed a trade. He spoke softly, words intended only for Mo Sang, leaving the elder contemplative. The exchange was deliberate, filled with calculated caution and respect for each other's knowledge. Outside, a reverent voice interrupted the quiet. "Elder, I've brought Su Ming here." "Send him in," Jing Nan responded, still with his eyes closed. Su Ming's steps echoed lightly as he entered the darkened room, his nerves taut. When he saw the elder, relief washed over him. "Su Ming, come to my side," the elder invited, and Su Ming obeyed, bowing slightly before standing behind him. "Tell me your second request," Jing Nan said, opening his eyes, a brilliant glimmer flashing as he regarded Mo Sang. Su Ming felt the intensity of his gaze piercing through him, but he lowered his head. Silent, Mo Sang handed him the stone cup, instructing him to drink, and as Su Ming did, warmth spread through his body, instilling a sense of comfort and resolve. The discussion continued regarding the berserker blood. Jing Nan hesitated at the idea, knowing the strain it would place on any Transcendence realm berserker, and noted that giving a drop to an ordinary child might be wasted. Mo Sang insisted on his requests. Su Ming was to be trained in the ancient berserker art, the true awakening, and receive a drop of berserker blood if he achieved sufficient results. Jing Nan agreed, setting a condition for the berserker blood. Su Ming would need to reach the top 40 in any stage of an upcoming 3-stage test. Only then would he receive the drop of blood, a measure ensuring both the safety of the resources and the opportunity for Su Ming to prove himself. The elder nodded thoughtfully, already considering ways to support Su Ming in alignment with Mo Sang's wishes. "Su Ming, reflecting on the elder's white hair, wrinkles, and the ridicule he had endured from the old woman of Dark Mountain Tribe. Felt a wave of determination. The loneliness of his childhood, the silent nights spent gazing at the stars and studying the scrolls, had coalesced into a newfound inner strength. This resolve surpassed even the time he had worshipped the statue of the god of Berserkers. Marking a pivotal moment in his journey, the elder stood, signaling for Su Ming to follow. As they moved, Jing Nan called out, his voice carrying urgency and curiosity. Mo sang, I have a question that has been plaguing my mind for dozens of years. I must ask you, since you're in Windstream Tribe now, I hope you will answer my question. The elder did not stop. Su Ming followed closely. Sensing the weight of the moment, Jing Nan's voice lingered behind them, charged with a strange mixture of apprehension and recognition. He could not tell Mo sang that the aura within him made him feel slightly alarmed. He had that feeling of terror back then, and he still got the same feeling at that point in time. When Su Ming heard those words, he felt his heart quiver. He could somewhat tell that the relationship between his elder and Windstream Tribe's elder was not as it seems. There was a high possibility that there was some dispute that happened between them in the past. He reflected on the subtle tension he had sensed earlier. The elder's refusal to travel to Windstream Tribe and the polite, yet cautious, behavior of Jing Nan, the elder of Windstream Tribe, hinted at unresolved matters from years ago. Su Ming's thoughts raced back to the image of the two elders walking in midair during their encounter on the Dark Python. The memory alone made his chest tighten. You will learn about it later, his elder said calmly, refusing to provide an explanation. With a leisurely pace, he led Su Ming out of the pentagonal altar, leaving Jing Nan behind. As Mo sang departed, Jing Nan's expression darkened. He withdrew a small purple bottle from his bosom, holding it delicately as if it were priceless. The bottle released a sweet medicinal fragrance the moment it was uncorked. Inside was a single pill, the legendary scattering dust. Jing Nan's eyes briefly glimmered with desire as he considered the possibilities. One pill alone would have minimal effect, but if he could acquire 8 more, the results would be immense. His mind raced with determination. I must find the fallen berserker who created this. I must find him at all costs, he thought, sealing the surrounding area to prevent escape. I can feel it, he is very near. Outside, the mudstone city was bathed in the soft glow of dusk, gradually shifting into evening. The streets were still lively, filled with wandering people and scattered fires floating in midair to illuminate the city, a sight Su Ming had never seen before. The elder walked ahead in silence, Su Ming following closely. The test held by Windstream Tribe will begin in 7 days. His elder finally spoke. It is organized by Windstream Tribe, and all the smaller tribes must send representatives. It is a grand ceremony for young cultivators. He instructed Su Ming to participate. His identity would remain hidden from all but Jing Nan. Then, with a wave of his hand, a faint presence of energy manifested and disappeared, leaving in its place a black straw hat. This is a berserker vessel I obtained during my travels, the elder explained. If you absorb it into your blood, it will slightly alter your figure and appearance. It has served me well in the past but is no longer useful to me. I give it to you now. Su Ming felt a cold sensation as the hat fused into his body, functioning like the counterfeit blood scales he had used before. The elder instructed him on how to use it to change his appearance during the test. Su Ming did not speak, but his resolve strengthened. He would not fail the elder's expectations, and the thought of achieving a top 40 ranking in the upcoming test burned fiercely in his mind. Then the elder posed a puzzle, a test of Su Ming's analytical skills. Listen well, Su Ming. I will only tell you once. 32, 79, 248, 371, 563, 781. Su Ming repeated the 6 numbers under his breath, but their meaning eluded him. He committed them to memory and fell into deep contemplation, aware that the answer would not be revealed so easily. As moonlight stretched their shadows across the city, Su Ming and the elder walked quietly into the distance. Over the next 6 days, Su Ming remained within the house provided to Dark Mountain Tribe by Windstream Tribe. He meditated diligently, circulating his energy carefully. There was a constant feeling of being observed, though he could never pinpoint who was watching him. Whenever the sensation grew too strong, he paused, lying down to rest rather than risk overextending himself. His thoughts often returned to the 6 numbers. But no matter how he analyzed them, the answer remained elusive. It was only on the 5th day that the feeling of surveillance vanished completely, leaving him both nervous and alert. During these days, Lei Chen visited Su Ming several times, sharing his discoveries and thoughts about the city. Wu Le spent much of his time training under the elder's guidance. Lei Chen, however, often went exploring the city, returning with a mysterious glint in his eyes each time. He recounted his encounters with women, the curious local beverage called wine, and even sightings of Black Mountain Tribe approaching the city on a dark cloud, though their elder had not come personally. He spoke at length about a girl named Bai Fang, comparing her to Bei Ling from their tribe, and repeatedly mentioned his growing admiration for her. Su Ming listened quietly, focusing on his training while noting Lei Chen's peculiar fascination with Bai Fang. Bei Ling, on the other hand, was usually absent, interacting with other young members of Windstream Tribe. On the 6th night, Su Ming stepped outside to gaze at the moon and observed Bei Ling being reluctantly escorted by 3 members of Windstream Tribe. Bei Ling's protests were soft but determined. "I don't want to go today," he murmured. The Windstream Tribe members reminded him of the necessity of participating in the ritual. And ultimately, Bei Ling complied, following them into the darkness. Su Ming's brows furrowed as he watched, contemplating Wu Senator, a young prodigy and one of the 3 strongest in the younger generation. He assessed the power levels of Bei Ling and the others, calculating that Wu Sen must be at the 7th level of the blood solidification realm. Su Ming knew he could not overpower a 7th level berserker directly, but he trusted in his own speed, strategic use of moonlight, and the strength gained from his blood scales. With careful steps, he followed the group from a distance through the darker corners of the illuminated mudstone city. His body began to shift under the influence of the berserker vessel. Growing taller, more muscular, and more imposing, his hair lengthened, his face changed to appear simpler and stronger, and his presence radiated powerful energy. Activating his energy, he felt an immense surge, not yet visible as the 49 blood veins, but the aura was undeniable. He reflected on his current advantage, knowing that under moonlight, even a 5th level berserker would struggle to challenge him. His confidence solidified as he continued his silent pursuit. Finally, the group entered a seemingly ordinary mudstone house, secluded in a quiet corner of the city. Su Ming paused outside, observing carefully. He noted every detail, every movement, calculating the potential challenges ahead, and steeling himself for the test that awaited. Time passed by slowly. The moon hung high in the sky. Bei Ling and the other 3 people disappeared into a common-looking mudstone house. The place was rather secluded. It was located in a corner of the city. Su Ming stopped outside the house and stood in the dark like a hunter. He stared at the house for a moment. Then slowly, he frowned. He quickly went up to the house and opened the door. There was no one inside. He scanned the empty interior carefully. Everything seemed ordinary at first, yet something about the quietness made him alert. At the far end of the room, he noticed a hole in the ground. Its edges were worn, the dirt dry, hinting that it had been there for a long time. Curiosity and caution intertwined as he approached and examined it. He squatted down, running his hands along the walls of the hole, feeling the coarse texture of the soil. The tunnel inside was narrow but solid. Without hesitation, Su Ming jumped into the hole, landing silently. Inside, a tunnel stretched ahead. He moved like a shadow, soundless and deliberate, gauging the direction it led. From the patterns of the footprints scattered across the ground, he estimated that 7 or 8 people had recently passed through. He memorized the spacing and depth of each step, calculating their likely positions. Su Ming retrieved his horn and began to dig pits along the way. The soil yielded easily to the sharp instrument, and he worked efficiently, marking potential traps or obstacles. As he advanced, he noticed the ceiling of the tunnel supported by thick round logs, clearly placed to prevent collapse. Su Ming smirked, appreciating the effort yet confident in his own abilities. About 10,000 feet into the tunnel, a faint sliver of moonlight reached him, signaling the exit. From outside, a voice drifted through the air, chanting in a strange, almost mystical cadence. Su Ming's senses sharpened. He lowered his body, creeping toward the exit, and peeked outside. A young man, sitting cross-legged in meditation, seemed to be keeping watch. Judging from the energy radiating from him, Su Ming noted that this person was only at the 4th level of the blood solidification realm. Calmly, Su Ming took a step forward, then leapt. The guard's eyes widened in shock, and in an instant, Su Ming struck. Pain exploded through the young man's body like countless needles of fire. And he coughed up blood. Just as he tried to cry out, Su Ming's strong, cold hand covered his mouth, stifling the scream. Within moments, the man twitched and fainted. Su Ming lowered him gently to the ground, his face betraying no emotion. The night was silent. From a distance, Su Ming could see the dim contours of the Mudstone City, fires flickering from the affiliated tribes, and, more peculiarly, a green bonfire in another direction. The eerie green flames cast an unnatural glow, and from their center, chanting floated faintly through the air. Su Ming approached cautiously, his movements precise and measured. Squatting at the edge of the green fire, he observed the scene with growing intensity. The fire consumed numerous dried branches and burned corpses that had long since died. Crackling under the flames, 7 figures sat around it. One young man, bald, handsome, and wearing a black robe, sat directly in front of the fire, his features illuminated by the strange light. The other 6, including Bei Ling, were arranged in 2 groups of 3 on either side. Su Ming watched as 6 waves of air rose from the fire, drawn into the 6 participants through their eyes, noses, mouths, and ears. Their skin paled further, bodies trembling violently. One participant approached the bald man, knelt, and struck his chest, forcing out a drop of fresh green blood between his brows. Simultaneously, the bald man produced a corresponding drop of dark green blood. As the 2 drops fused, green-tinged blood veins spread across the bald man's body, erupting with energy. Su Ming narrowed his eyes. He had misjudged the bald man's power. This was not an 8th level or 7th level berserker. He was a peak 6th level berserker, on the verge of breaking into the 7th level. Su Ming adjusted his calculations but remained focused. The rest of the participants had also offered their blood and returned to their positions. Visibly exhausted, Bei Ling approached the bald man. Wu Senator hesitating, he complained of weakness from recent blood offerings, questioning if he could provide just a single drop that night. Wu Sen's green eyes glimmered as he reminded Bei Ling of their arrangement. Assist him in breaking the 7th level, and he would ensure Bei Ling's place in the top 50 of the final test stage. Despite fatigue and doubt, Bei Ling knelt, struck his chest, and produced a droplet of green blood. Wu Sen's hand suddenly reached out, tapping Bei Ling's forehead. The spot between Bei Ling's brows opened, releasing more blood under Wu Sen's control. Wu Sen reassured him with a smile, intending to fully draw out his energy for the night. Yet just as he attempted to control the fused blood, his body shuddered violently, his eyes snapped wide open. From the darkness, a black light emerged. A long black spear, howling like a great black dragon, shot forward with terrifying speed, bypassing Bei Ling and heading straight for Wu Sen. A loud muffled explosion erupted as the green flames scattered. When the smoke cleared, a sturdy figure stood in the midst of the chaos, Su Ming. The black spear transformed into a bundle of black mist he held firmly, and the blood of Bei Ling and Wu Sen was captured in his grasp. Wu Sen's face twisted with a mixture of malice and astonishment. He roared, summoning a surge of green energy. Enlarging into a 30-foot-tall zombie-like figure, he lunged at Su Ming, his body radiating destructive power. The others, weakened from repeated blood offerings, could not intervene. Su Ming planted the long spear into the ground. Black mist erupted, sending a shockwave across the surrounding area, forcing even the strongest to step back. With lightning speed, he charged Wu Senator, the black mist forming the shape of a colossal black eagle. Wings slicing through the air, moonlight fused into the eagle, amplifying its power. The clash was cataclysmic. Su Ming rolled backward, narrowly avoiding the brunt of Wu Sen's assault, and retreated toward the tunnel. The green figure crumbled, leaving Wu Sen enraged, wounded in the chest, and seething with a mixture of fear and anger. Su Ming vanished into the tunnel with Wu Sen in pursuit. The onlookers, including Bei Ling, were paralyzed in astonishment, unwilling or unable to follow. Moments later, a muffled rumble signaled a tunnel collapse, accompanied by distant, furious bellowing. Eventually, Wu Sen emerged, face dark and furious, anxious beneath his rage. "I've already retrieved my blood of corpses, but I won't be refining it tonight. Find that person. You must find him. He's not from Windstream Tribe. Find him. I want to break his neck with my own hands." It was a night where the moon was absent and the winds raged. Within the walls of Windstream Tribe's city, winds howled as they rushed by. It was like they were angry. The winds lifted the dust off the land and up into the sky, blurring out the moon. The city, built of mudstone, was cloaked in darkness and chaos. Figures darted through the streets, moving hurriedly yet without a clear destination, as if searching for something lost. Their footsteps raised clouds of dust, and the furious wind howled past them, carrying with it an ominous chill. Hours passed as they scoured the city, but their efforts were in vain. It was not until the first light of dawn stretched across the horizon that the searchers began to retreat, leaving the city quiet and dim once more. Bei Ling returned to the Dark Mountain Tribe's lodgings, exhausted and pale. The night had left him drained. Between the blood offerings he had given and the intense confrontation he had witnessed, his body felt weak and his mind restless. He had seen the battle, the spear that flew like a thunderbolt, the shaking earth, and the roar of Wu Senator, the prodigy of Windstream Tribe, which echoed long in his ears. He knew his own limits. Despite being a formidable berserker among his peers, Bei Ling understood that challenging Wu Senator even at the same level of power was impossible. Wu Sen's method of training, combining the aura of corpses and berserker blood, was not something Bei Ling had encountered before. It was a technique so strange that only those chosen by a mysterious statue of the god of berserkers could wield it successfully. This ritual, if fully mastered, could make someone nearly invincible. Bei Ling's thoughts wandered to the mysterious figure who had fought Wu Senator. He could not gauge the man's strength. Yet the fact that he had forced Wu Sen into a corner suggested he was no ordinary berserker. Perhaps he was from Black Mountain Tribe. The speculation ran through Bei Ling's mind, but certainty eluded him. He was a powerful figure in his own tribe, but outside, he was insignificant. That night left him troubled, uncertain of what the test in the morning would bring. When Bei Ling entered his room, he froze, his pupils shrank, and a shiver ran through his body. On the table floated a ball of fresh blood, glowing faintly with a light green tint. It was the refined blood Wu Sen had drawn from him earlier. When tapping his glabella to extract his energy, the blood hovered as if alive, radiating an eerie heat. For a moment, shock rendered Bei Ling motionless. His eyes scanned the empty room, noting only silence and shadows. Questions stormed through his mind. Who had placed this here? Why? Slowly, he reached out and touched the sphere. Immediately, the blood melted into his body, sending a wave of heat coursing through his veins. He sat down cross-legged, concentrating as he circulated the revitalized blood, feeling a strength returning to his exhausted frame. In another room, Su Ming sat cross-legged, his pale face calm, though a trickle of fresh blood marked the corner of his lips. He held a small ball of dark green blood in his hand, its glow subdued but ominous. He studied it carefully, calculating the potential it held. Wu Sen was the prodigy of Windstream Tribe, an elite figure, yet Su Ming assessed him coldly. No one should surpass him. Su Ming considered the power he could attain by combining the third burning of his blood with the spear in his hand. Even if he could not kill Wu Sen outright, he could severely injure him, leveling the battlefield. Su Ming wiped the blood from his lips and allowed his thoughts to settle. He reflected on the strange berserker method Wu Sen had used, the burning corpses, the green fire, and the ritual blood extraction. If he could master this technique and harness the blood he now possessed, He could turn the advantage in his favor. Placing the dark green blood into a small bottle, he allowed a sliver of moonlight, seemingly appearing from nowhere, to encircle it before tucking it safely into his bosom. He closed his eyes and circulated his qi, letting his body heal and fortify itself as he waited for morning. Time passed swiftly, and the first hints of sunlight painted the horizon. This morning was unlike any other. It marked the day of Windstream Tribe's Grand Test, a rare event. Conducted once every few years, tribes from far and wide sent their young berserkers to compete, to show their strength, and to stake a claim on the future. Success or failure here could shape the relations between tribes for years to come. As the sun rose, Lei Chen, Wu and Bei Ling, guided by the elders, head of the guards, and Shan Hen, prepared to leave their lodgings for the test. Su Ming watched silently from the shadows, noting each of them with precision. Lei Chen waved confidently, Wu regarded him with calm disdain, and Bei Ling, pale but composed, refused to meet his gaze. The elder nodded with a sophisticated smile. The head of the guards offered a regretful look, and Shan Hen's narrowed eyes held a strange glow. Once they disappeared from view, Su Ming's form shifted, his body transformed into a bulky, rugged man. His skin darkened slightly, and his aura exuded toughness. He now looked indistinguishable from an ordinary member of the Berserker Tribe. The straw hat placed in his possession by the elder allowed him to alter his appearance at will. Anxiety was absent from his demeanor. Today was a pivotal day, one that could either elevate him to great heights or cast him into despair. As Su Ming gazed at the blue sky, he contemplated destiny and the nature of the heavens. He remembered the opening lines of the beast skin scroll, words that had once puzzled and inspired him: the oppression of heaven, the disparity between prodigies and ordinary people, and the eternal question of whether one should endure, rebel, or seek a third path. Su Ming reflected on the elders, the prodigies like the man in purple, and on Wu Sen himself. He recognized the invisible weight of destiny pressing upon every life, yet he resolved to navigate it according to his own will. Footsteps approached. A man in a white robe with white hair appeared, Shi-Hai. His face bore the marks of experience and wisdom. Without question, Su Ming followed as Shi-Hai instructed. Mist enveloped them, and their forms melded with it. Lifting into the sky, they moved swiftly, the wind and clouds whirling past them, until the landscape below transformed. They crossed an invisible boundary, and the terrain twisted like ripples across a water surface. Then, Shi-Hai's cold voice came close. We've arrived. Before them stood a mountain of colossal proportions, dwarfing any peak Su Ming had ever seen. Its summit was hidden in clouds, and the base stretched far and wide. Stairs carved into the mountain disappeared into the mist above, while a circular field lay at its foot. 9 colossal bird statues encircled the area, each emanating a savage, ancient presence. Hundreds of people gathered across the field, their conversations filling the air. Su Ming's arrival immediately attracted the attention of all the people on the field. However, after they glanced at him, they averted their gazes and continued talking with each other. In this episode, we saw Su Ming facing dangerous situations both inside and outside the Windstream Tribe's city. He discovered secret tunnels, carefully observed the rituals of powerful berserkers, and even intervened to save Bei Ling from Wu Sen's dangerous blood extraction. We witnessed Su Ming's strategic thinking, his mastery over his own strength, and his ability to adapt quickly to unexpected challenges. We also saw the tension between tribes, the immense power and strange methods of the berserkers, and Su Ming's reflections on destiny, the oppression of heaven, and the possibility of a third way to fight against fate. By the end of the episode, Su Ming had prepared himself for the upcoming test, disguised as a member of the Berserker Tribe, and arrived at a colossal mountain where the ultimate trials would soon begin. What happens next? Stay tuned for the next episode of Pursuit of the Truth. If you enjoyed this episode or found it exciting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to get the latest updates on Su Ming's journey. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.